Yep. Please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Notice of this meeting was given in advance thereof by publishing one time in Keith County News and posting at the City Administration Building as shown by the certificate of posting notice. Notice of this meeting was simultaneously given to the president and all members of the council. Availability of the agenda was communicated in the advance notice and the notice to the president and council of this meeting. All proceedings hereafter will be taken while this convened meeting is open to the attendance of the public. This meeting is being convened in accordance with the Open Meetings Act. A copy of the Open Meetings Act is posted in the southeast corner of the council chambers. Any person wishing to address the council may do so by standing. When you are recognized, please go to the podium. Please sign the sign-in sheet located on the podium and state your name and the organization, interest, or person you represent before you begin speaking. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Block.
Here.
Dupierre.
Here.
Kraske.
There.
Laughlin.
Here.
Just a reminder to the audience, this council meeting is being recorded and will be broadcast on YouTube live. I believe.
It is live, yes.
It is live, okay. First item of business, the roll call is the appointment to fill a vacant council member seat. We did have three people submit their names for consideration. Daryl Weddington, Kevin Klockerman, and Cody Quinn. I've talked to all three individuals, and it was a really tough decision to come to. They're all three very qualified to fit this position. Considering what the council is coming up to with a review of some departments in detail, really looking for somebody who had some experience on the council and knows the operation so we can move quickly on this. And with that, I would like to nominate Daryl Weddington to fill the remaining term of Dustin Holstein to 2028. Now, council members, I cannot vote unless there would be a tie. I don't think there would be a tie with three people voting. Is that correct?
Yeah, the other three will vote and make a decision.
Yeah. So
Be appropriate to have discussion and also
Sure.
anytime the other council members can make a motion as to the nomination.
And I think, especially with all the things that are going on, there are some big items. I think that we put a lot of thought into who the nomination was going to be. Worked with Daryl quite a bit, and I welcome him back on council. So,
yeah, I just want to say the candidates that we do have, I think are all very qualified. For me, I was taking into consideration the polls from the last election and what the people had voted for and what their voice was a year ago. And so my perspective is, you know, I think Daryl deserved a first shot at it. Not to mention the experience, but beyond that, I believe Cody and the others were great as well. So I'll be happy to see Daryl join.
any other discussion?
I'd move to appoint Daryl Whittington.
I'll second.
We have a motion by Councilman Block and a second by Councilman Laughlin to appoint Daryl Weddington to fill the remaining term of Dustin Holstein to 2028. There's no further discussion for the council. Please vote.
That does go through till December.
End of December 2028, correct.
Three yes, one non-voting.
motion is approved and Daryl Weddington is appointed to the position. Mike, would you like to give him the oath?
Mr. Weddington, if you join me up here, please. Congratulations. Or condolences. If you would just raise your right hand and repeat after me, I would like you to state I and then your name.
I, Darrell Weddington,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution of Nebraska
and the Constitution of Nebraska
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic.
that I will bear true faith
I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same,
and allegiance to the same.
that I take this obligation freely
I take this obligation freely
and without mental reservation
and without mental reservation
or for the purpose of evasion
and the purpose of evasion.
or for the purpose of evasion
And for the purpose of evasion.
or for the purpose of evasion or for the purpose.
Or for the purpose.
Yes, of evasion. Great. And that I will faithfully
And I will faithfully
and impartially,
and impartially
according to law
and according to law
and to the best of my ability,
and to the best of my ability,
and I do further swear
I do further swear
that I do not advocate,
I do not advocate,
nor am I a member of
or am I a member of,
any political party or organization
political party or organization
that advocates the overthrow
that advocates the overthrow
of the government of the United States
of the government of the United States
or of this state
or of this state
by force or violence,
by force or by violence,
and that during such time
and during such time
as I am in this position,
that I am in this position,
I will not advocate
I will not advocate
nor become a member of
or become a member of
any political party or organization
political party or organization
that advocates the overthrow
that advocates the overthrow
of the government of the United States
of the government of the United States
or of this state
or of this state
by force or violence.
by force of God.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Councilman Weddington, welcome to your new seat.
See if you're skinny enough to get by that.
Oh, yeah.
Look at him go.
All right, and I'd like to thank again Cody and Kevin also for putting their names in for this position. And I reached out to each today and I encouraged them all to make sure they get their names in for this upcoming elections. So with that, we'll move on to the consent agenda. On that, we have the claims and the minutes of the regular meeting held November 11th, 2025.
Move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilman Block and a second by Councilman Dupierre to approve the consent agenda. There's no discussion. Council, please vote.
Like wrong hand.
Thank you.
Five yes.
Motion carried. All right, we have a public hearing. It's planning and zoning. Request for an in-home daycare facility for property located at 1420 East Sixth Street. It's parcel ID 0160164000. More particularly described as Lot 8, Block 11, Cures, fourth addition to Keith County, Nebraska, located in Section 5, Township 13 North, Range 38 West of the 6 p.m. We'll open the public hearing at what is that, 7:09? 7:09.
Mr. President, this came before the planning commission a couple of weeks ago. I think you've got a pretty comprehensive description of in your packets as to what this is all about. It's on Sixth Street. The only concern that the planning commission had was the safety concerns the traffic on Sixth Street. That's about as close as we have to a school route, so that's something we should be considering those safety concerns anyway. I know that OPD patrols that street pretty regularly at school times. As I'm walking to work in the morning, there's always at least a couple of patrol cars going up and down that street. Brandon, you got anything to add to the hearing? I know you got the applicants here.
Those of whom don't know me, I'm Dennis Shields. I live at 125 Smoking Ridge Road. And recently, I purchased the property on East Sixth Street for a daycare facility for my granddaughter, Sierra Kanab. And I've been in contact with Brandon Scott and with the fire marshal to make sure that we are up to codes for both state and city. And we're working on that right now, making modifications, mainly the smoke detectors and an egress window. And anyway, the subject of the high traffic, that is a well-traveled road, but if you think about it, most of the drop off will be around 7:30 and 5 for the pickup. So that's kind of on the outer edges of the school thing. And Sierra will give you a detailed thing on her plan. So anyway, then go to the Sierra.
Hi, I'm Sierra. I've been a nanny babysitter since I was 10 and I've had anywhere from the ages of newborn to 13. In 2023, I graduated from Southeast Community College with an early childhood education degree, a certificate in early childhood education, infant and toddler, and a certificate in early childhood education for preschool. My goal is to open a family in home too. And so by myself, I can have 8 kids plus 2 after school kids. And with an employee, I can have 12 kids plus 2 after school kids. I will run my daycare from Monday to Thursday, 7:30 to 5:30, and Friday, 7:30 to 4:30. For drop-offs, I will have parents take the kids inside. And then for pickup, I'll also have the parents go inside to pick up their kids. So that kind of beats the traffic. And then for emergencies, I'll have a written plan posted for tornadoes and fires, and for tornadoes, we'll go to the basement and take shelter, and for fires, we'll use the closest exit and walk across the street.
Quick question for you. Will you be living in the home permanently?
Yes.
I wanted to comment real quick on the traffic. You know, we've had this discussion before. One project that sticks out in my mind was the Scotts. They live right there on East Sixth and East D Street, and traffic at that intersection was a big concern. And ultimately, the amount of time it takes to drop off and pick up is rather quickly. Have we had any formal complaints on traffic issues since that happened?
I have not.
I also forgot to state, my driveway has 2 parking spots for parents, and then in front of the house, and then my neighbor, Mr. Cerny, also has parents can park in front of his house too.
I pick up my grandkids and drop them off quite a bit at school, and I mean, traffic seems to flow fairly well. The kids, with the crossing guards. I mean, they keep them in the walks, keep them on the sidewalk, so it's not a, you know, it's not a free for all that I've ever seen. Seems pretty well controlled.
There's quite a bit of traffic that comes down O Street, 2 and 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Or, I mean, not, oh, I'm sorry, I meant Highland, excuse me, down Highland Drive.
But I think especially with where you can drop off kids right in front of the house, you're pulling off out of traffic.
Their driveway.
In a driveway, so. I live just down the street from that. It's not, I don't have any concern about vehicles parked on the side of the road there. My kid parks on the side of the road, not to worry about him. He's a high schooler, doesn't pay attention at times.
I think that'd be a great idea just to designate, I mean, the driveway as a drop off for the parents to keep that open for.
And the 7:30 drop off, I mean, you're actually about 7:30, about 10 minutes later is when all the traffic starts. 7:30, it's starting, but it's not. 5 o'clock is way after the.
Sue.
I'm Sue Shills and I sit on the board for the KCFF Foundation. And early childhood education and daycare are one of their main missions. And so I thank you for your consideration.
Thank you. Council have any other questions or comments?
Don't really have any concern with it.
I don't see any, I think. More about how we can get it better. I mean, is there anyone else in the audience that would like to comment on this? Okay, if not, we will leave the public hearing open. This will be an action item a little further down the agenda. So we will.
7B.
Yep, 7B. It'll be just a while. Moving on under public forum, Marine Shum. 5-year recognition. Come on. Mo began working in the city clerk's office on November 9th, 2020. She serves in the capacity of Administrative Assistant 1 City Clerk. Mo and her husband Randy have 3 children. Tyler, married to Sarah, Trisha, married to Brian, and Tara. They also have 4 adorable grandchildren who lovingly refer to Mo as Grandma.
Yes, they do.
Mo enjoys spending time with her family and cheering on the Broncos, who are enjoying a great 9-2 season so far. You can always count on Mo to burst out in a song at a moment's notice when the mood strikes her. Is it gonna strike you? Mo?
It might.
It might.
It might.
This is live.
Be careful what you ask for.
Mo performs many diverse tasks for the city, including water sewer deposits, answering the phone, filing, and those many occupation tax checks we receive, just to name a few. Mo serves the citizens of the city in a positive manner and is an example of the type of coworker everyone wants to work with. We are fortunate to have Mo on the team, clerk's office. We look forward to many more years of service. And if you ever get to City Hall on a Friday, just ask Mo. Oh, what day is it? Friday. Mo, thank you. Thank you for your service.
Thanks, Mo. Thank you. Thanks,
Mo.
Mo. Don't trip. I won't.
Thank you very much. Yep. Appreciate it.
She would hit her in on that.
You are.
All right. Next on under public forum is people service update.
Good evening, council. Report was a little late this month, so did everybody get a copy or?
They have a copy of it,
Okay.
yeah.
Normally it'll be here before the 15th. We do run into some situations. Sometimes we have computer problems, employee problems, something or another. But most of the time, it'll be here, so it's in your packet beforehand. A couple of things I'll focus on is the south tower got its maintenance. It was drained and repaired and cleaned and then filled and sampled and put back into service. That's a little bit more of a process I just described, but so that was maintained. We also overfilled the other storage tank, and that's an annual thing that we do to refresh the water and to keep the top of it from being stagnant. That's on the water side. And on the wastewater side, of course, is always a struggle. We're in compliance this month. Couple reasons though. Couple reasons is first off, our ammonia is down, but in October, I'm sorry, at the end of October, our regulations go higher. So we're in compliance because of that, not because of the performance of the plant.
How much higher do they go?
12, I do believe. So it skyrockets. It's in the summertime because of the recreational period, because of all that stuff, it goes way down. But we do continue to still do process control. Electric pump was there and tried to replace some actuators and they had the wrong ones. So they got to come back and do that, but they were managed to repair a couple valves and we are able to recirculate a little bit more. Process control does continue, and the employees there are learning a lot about process control and how to evaluate the plant and everything happening in the plant. As I told you last month, my goal is next summer is to be in compliance. Even though it goes way low by manipulating the plant and doing certain things, we're able to do that instead of just leaving it alone and letting it stay out of compliance. That is our goal. That's what we're trying to accomplish now. The struggles with that are the temperature change, because in the wintertime, it behaves a lot differently than it does in the summertime. And flow does go down, so there's some complications to that, but we do have high hopes that next year we'll be able to manipulate that plant to stay in compliance. That's kind of the two things I really wanted to touch on as far as what the excitement was. It was another busy month, of course, but any questions or anything about the report or?
Any updates on the new SCADA system?
The RFP is complete. I'm gonna be reviewing that with Evan tomorrow. And then hopefully after Jane and Kevin approve it, then we can get it and get it out there for public bid. So they can never move as fast as I want them to.
The guy from HOA is coming through tomorrow too.
Yeah, I think that's just
crazy.
that's just a sale visit, yeah, so. Any other questions?
So with the cold weather coming on, are we stocked up on inventory for patches, pipe repair, everything?
Oh, yeah.
For anything?
Yep,
Great.
yep, we are prepared for all of that. So, you know, we are having troubles with the boilers at the wastewater plant, but we continue to try to get that fixed. You know, it's just a constant struggle, but I think we're really prepared.
And I understand, I mean, every year we're gonna have a main issue.
When the frost comes up and it goes out, that's our most busiest time of year for water main breaks, because obviously the ground heaves and the pipes pop.
Sure.
You know, so yeah, that is, the most active. Yep.
And as we're working on installing shut-offs in the system where we can isolate areas versus having to shut off half the town will be helpful too.
Yeah, I think that's a plan we have to come up with and look at budgeting and everything for that. But yes, that is something that obviously we always want. It would be great if there was a valve at every single block.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, that work. Right? So yes.
One of the things having people service here is just upgrading our mapping through Diamond Maps, which will help us have a plan, should we ever get an infrastructure sales tax, that we can divert some of that money for this valve isolation.
Yes, and that's continuously being updated with all the water main breaks, with all the issues that we are having, plus all the maintenance and repairs, so that we can look at all the data And if we want to replace mains, we look at where all the breaks at. Are there a lot of breaks on this street? Okay, well, obviously we need to replace this entire thing. Well, we'll have that information, so it'll be easier to evaluate.
And then we can put that into our 1 and 6 year street plan.
Yes,
Do we have to do any upgrades or updates, as part of the paving that we've done?
The paving that we've done, we had one water tap that went to the police station on this
Mhm.
street, and that was all. And I don't think there was anything on the other street.
no, this one was coordinated as the concrete was out.
Yeah, I think I remember like this stuff where you're working now, that was all updated. Well, years ago, but not in the scheme of things for water lines.
Yes.
You know, relatively recent, so. Okay. If there's no further questions, comments?
I guess I was looking at your wastewater total flow. It's higher every month. Except for January. For this year, is there a reason for it?
Rain,
Okay.
if you look at 24 to 25, and we don't have rain totals in here, but this year was a wet year. So that's why the flows go up normally, is because of the infiltration of just rainwater. And that'll make our flows increase, which is part of our challenge with the ammonia removal and everything else too. On a normal year, we do better than a wet year because we don't have that rainwater getting into it. Every system has I&I, we call it. That's intrusion and infiltration. That's where rainwater gets in the sewer system, whether by breaks, by sub pumps in people's basements. There's a few different ways that could happen, and that always increases our flow. Because all that goes in the sewer pipe, ends up at the sewer plant, which dilutes the wastewater that we need for the food, keep our plant. So, yeah. Thank you.
Thanks for answering my question.
You bet. I don't know if you have my phone number yet, but she can give it to you if you have any questions about anything. Any of you, of course, but it's your news. Welcome. Congratulations. Any other questions?
Just for the rest of the council, Mike, we did receive notice that the state revolve fund is gonna be
Yes.
releasing 7.5 million. We've been budgeting 11. We started out at 30. We got it down to 11, and the state in their wisdom is gonna give us 7.5. We'll talk about making that work.
I mean, yes, as per the emails today, our goal is to get the best out of that 7.5. And so we'll be looking at the major repairs, what needs to be done first to get that done and be able to utilize those funds in the best way.
And of that 7.5, 1.5 million will be forgiven.
1.5.
Just answered my question. And that's all exclusive to the wastewater treatment facility.
It's, well, yes, we of the 30 million.
You're not getting any, that's all going.
It is being
Of the 30
recorded.
of the $30 million worth of suggested repairs, we will prioritize that to our maximum advantage.
Because I will remind you that we are still in a consent order.
Right, on the wastewater treatment. facility,
Yes.
Not the water.
No, this is all wastewater.
Wastewater, right?
We are still under a consent order and agreements have been made by this council with the state of Nebraska to do certain things. But we have to make sure that we comply with that. Because that's why we're in the spot, is because of that consent order.
You know, we've talked about somehow showing the public how the wastewater treatment plant operates and what is out there. And I don't know that it would be prudent to have a lot of people come take tours. But if we could go out and do a video this summer or spring or something, put it on YouTube and show people, you know, exactly why this thing is so expensive.
I think it's very important that the public knows how all this works, because they turn on their sink and they flush their toilet and they think it's all just not there, right?
Wet
right.
wipes, do not flush wet wipes.
Please, or t-shirts or underwear or anything else, because we found those this month again. But the point is that we are willing to give tours to a certain amount of number. We'd have to come up with that magic just to make it safe,
Right.
right? But we have no problem giving tours. None whatsoever, because I think the better that the public is educated, that this is their tax dollars. And the more that it breaks, the more that it's mistreated because of what comes into it, whether that's illegal dumping or solids or t-shirts or materials, that affects the cost of it, which affects our tax dollars. So I
Right.
think it's great that we educate people.
We're gonna plan on getting that done this year, and what people don't realize. Either is that because we're under a consent order, if we don't take action, or if we don't, as a city, repair this, the state will come in and correct it.
I believe it's $10,000 a day after the date
Yeah.
that they decide that you're not gonna consent.
Yeah,
So it's a very serious thing,
it
you
is.
know? And right now that consent order, sits on the contingency of getting this funding. So now that we have this funding, we have to communicate back.
We don't have it yet.
No, we don't have it yet, but, once that's done, then we have to start continuing our action items on that, consent order. Okay. So,
How long do we have to pay that back?
20 years, I think.
Usually they're 20.
20?
average 20, 30. I am disappointed on the forgiveness though. Thought that'd be,
Yeah.
I was hoping for 33%.
yeah, I'm just surprised, but everything's changed now, right? So, I mean, how long did we wait for this? 2 years?
Yeah,
You know, before they finally opened this up, so.
and like I said in the email, in a normal year, I would go back and say, hey, wait a minute. You shorted us the money that we were gonna get in earmarks, which messes up our whole formula, but I'm afraid to slow anything down.
Yeah, get what you can.
We don't know when it's gonna stop
We'll deal with
again.
it later.
Yeah.
You know, we don't know when it's gonna stop again, when it's, yeah, we don't know if we're gonna go back in the.
I don't wanna go to the bottom of the list and all of a sudden they run out of money.
Yeah, yeah, if anything else, we'll ask for some grants or something down the road, you know. Yeah, so I'm excited to move forward though, because we definitely need to get those repairs done.
Any other questions, comments for Mike?
Thank you very much.
Mike, thank you. All right, moving on, Karen Lundquist and Gerald Eastman, 715 Valley View Drive, sewage backup, damage requiring financial support.
Seems like ironic timing to follow. I have a lot of paperwork, but I wanted to just do as quick an overview as I could. On July 26th, both of us were away from home, and Gerald came home that evening from Arthur from a family reunion and found about 2 inches of sewage in about a third of the basement. And Ken Priesner was able to come over pretty quickly and found that it wasn't any of our pipes, it was actually further into the city system as far as he could tell. And so we weren't able to get a hold of anyone with the city that night, but the next morning they did come out and check. And the first manhole cover didn't discover anything, but the second one did have a blockage there. And the city, or the people survey, I would guess, came out probably a couple hours after that. And as soon as they freed up that blockage, the basement was empty again. But by this time, it had covered about 3/4 of the basement, and we had to call in professional remediation because of what it was. They had to remove all the carpeting, all the flooring. There was a bathroom, 2 feet of the, you guys have probably heard this before, 2 feet of the drywall all the way around the basement, and a little kitchenette. And so the total for all those costs came to about 40,000, a little over 40,000. And our insurance was able to cover 10, but they couldn't go higher because it was not on our property. So just the way the claim was written, things like that. They did do subrogation with the city, but there wasn't any results with that one either, just because of the way those things worked. And the 2 reasons that I wanted to come and ask for, that we wanted to come and ask for help, was one, that it took a little time for the city to get out there and it extended further than we would have hoped. And the second was when that person came and opened up that second manhole cover, they had mentioned in front of Gerald and a neighbor and the plumber that they were behind in maintenance. So I'm just saying that this, of course, these are unexpected, nothing that anybody wants or anything like that, but we would like to ask for some help in recovering from this.
Kevin can give us any insight on this.
John was on call. John was the one that did open up the first manhole and discovered that it was somewhere between that first manhole, which is basically just in front of their driveway. So it was somewhere between, there's 4 houses, there's 3 houses upstream from that. The Superior was called to jet it. It was jetted. It was discovered that the blockage was primarily wet wipes. They also discovered some pieces of asphalt in the system. We don't know when those were in there. Sometime either 7 years ago when it was asphalted or prior to that, but it's been operating for at least 7 years prior to with this in the system.
With the asphalt in the system.
Yeah. John says that John told me that in his entire tenure with the city, there's never been an issue on that particular piece of system. And I don't know who was indicating that there was a lack of maintenance on the system, but John's the lead operator. And if he was the one responding, I wouldn't, it would be uncharacteristic for John to be the one that to tell you he wasn't maintaining his system. So that's what I've discovered. Mike, you got anything above and beyond that?
First off, it sucks, right?
Thank you.
It's not a good thing at all. But obviously with preventive maintenance on a sewer system, that's put to where it needs to be put. And because of the history here, having no problems anywhere, I don't know, once again, I was not there. I cannot say what anybody said or didn't say, for sure, but John responded. He called the people to come jet it. Obviously, that takes time for all that to happen. We do understand your emergency, but people do gotta drive here. They gotta get the equipment out. They gotta do all that to make the stuff work. The wet wipes obviously were the problem. I do not understand the broken pipe in there or the pieces of pipe in there. I don't know where that came from. That's after they jetted it. I believe it was televised afterwards. I do believe so.
I think it was asphalt from the road. I don't know if it's a broken pipe.
Okay. But as far as, because I'm only gonna speak on the preventive maintenance portion of it and the responding portion of it, because I wasn't there to do anything else, but from what I understand from the reports I received, the response to it was in a normal amount of time. Because obviously people have to drive there, people have to get notified, they have to get up, they have to, so I believe all of that was in a normal amount of time. That's all I can really speak to about it.
Thanks, Mike.
So your insurance approached us, so I assume there was an investigation done by LARM.
We filed a claim and they filed a claim. Their insurance filed a claim against LARM. LARM notified their insurance that this was not a coverable claim subrogation because of the maintenance issues and the lack of prior issues. This was the only house impacted on the backup. That's basically the story.
These wet wipes are getting to be a real problem.
They are a problem. And that's like Mike said, it's diapers, it's t-shirts, it's this particular line has not had a problem up until this event.
But there's no collapse.
Yeah, we're not taking DNA tests off the wet wipes to see where they came from.
So there wasn't,
To answer your question, there was no collapsed pipe or anything like that.
Right.
Once again, this is from things settling in the sewer main and getting caught up on a piece of pipe or a snag or something like that. It just tends to build up. So that, just to answer that question.
Somebody putting something in the sewer that should have been put in there. It doesn't
Yeah,
break down.
yeah, it's anything that is not biodegradable should not be flushed. Plain and simple, nothing's designed for anything else.
Is their house on the lower end of that sewer system?
I wish I could answer that.
We're right next to.
yeah, it's
Right next
down.
to-
Right
next
next
to my building at Sally's house, yep.
Yeah. And I think the one thing I would add is that we were really surprised that this was even a possibility. You know, you sort of get those kinds of insurance thinking this is a once in a million thing. And we've heard several stories, you know, of this happening to other people, you know, even just this summer. So even if you make a decision that doesn't benefit us, we would really ask that we, as a city, look at it differently, because there's a lot of people with even less ability to rebound from something like this. And I think it's really critical. I think people don't think, oh, hey, my basement could fill with sewage.
I'm
Yes, so-
totally sorry to interrupt you there.
No worries.
I'm totally surprised to hear that your insurance doesn't cover it.
It's because it was on city property. If it was in our property, they've covered the 10 up to the city.
They
but
cover
once-
up to where it taps.
Mhm, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That bothers
So
me.
it's-
So
it's
you
a-
have two insurance companies and we meet right in the middle and nobody's gonna take responsibility on that.
As long as the system is being properly maintained.
All right, question though, right, first question is, so this was back in June, is that what you said?
July.
July, okay, just wanna make sure I had that correct. There was no blockage on the first manhole, but there was blockage on another manhole?
I'm assuming that your line feeds upstream from the manhole that's directly in front of their driveway.
So the way that we determine a sewer backup is to see if it's in the public side of it, is we have to pop a manhole here, right? And if there's sewer there that's standing, well, then we go to the next manhole, and if there's no water in that manhole, obviously the block is between those two manholes, right? Okay, and in their case, it was after that manhole. So that explains how we do it.
But there was a blockage in that line somewhere along that.
There
street.
was, yes,
Okay.
But it
because
then dissipated after a while, so.
No, we
why
jetted
didn't
it.
we have-
You shot their jet.
yeah, we came in and jet and backed it and removed that plug.
Okay.
And once that was done, then your sewer stuff went away
Right.
at that point.
Just kind of.
Yes, and to answer your question, not to answer it, but insurance companies do not look at you.
Yeah.
It's facts only, right? And it's their liability. So if there were no issues in many years or preventive maintenance was done on a regular basis, then they look at who's at fault because of just quote unquote act of God thing. That's what they put it as, right? This is just something that happens. You can't avoid things all the time because we can't control what people flush. We can't control the actual flow of the sewer main. We can't do that. So they look at facts only to that particular part. So that's why it was turned down at this time, because there was no signs of neglect on the city's part because of preventive maintenance or not being aware of a constant problem in that main. Once again, I'm not, these are just facts. This is how they look at it. And so that's why it was turned down, because at the end of the day, it's all about liability. At the end of the day. And that's what they look at.
To address Karen's question, what I would suggest when we had a conversation, and this is maybe for Scoop's benefit, what I do at home is at least once a month, I fill up the bathtub, open the drain and flush the toilet so I get as much flow through my line once a month as possible. So if nothing else, I'm kicking it down to be the neighbor's problem.
There are certain things to said about a lot of that. And I guess, obviously I'm not gonna go into a whole spiel because I could, but dumping a large amount of water periodically does help clean your line out. You have elevation depending on if it's flat, how much fall you have, what are you flushing? There's a lot of different variables. Your traps can become dry. There's all kinds of benefits for what you just described. So write that down, quote unquote. But put his name by it, right?
So, Karen, too, and you had plumber came out, checked your line at the time and said there's nothing in your.
Yeah, he even rented a longer one to make sure he could snake all the way out.
And we just had it scoped when we bought the house a year ago, and we're not flushing anything down like t-shirts. pipes.
Sounds like a very unfortunate situation. Our insurance company declined the claim.
Well, they're, we find, when we have this issue, we submit that to Alarm and then Alarm works it out with their insurance company. The unfortunate thing is our insurance company was working directly with their insurance company and they weren't notified for an embarrassingly period of time.
So then our insurance company on the city side turned it down because they're saying the liability lies within not them, but any populace that's flushing something down in a line. Because they don't cover a line blockage unless the city's.
Unless we're
like
negligent.
we collapsed it. We dumped something in it, we had concrete in it, something that we've caused in the city. But they don't protect if your neighbor's flushing stuff they shouldn't. That then clogs the line for everybody down, right? Is that how that works?
I'd say yes, I'd say that's a good description.
Right. So they're not covering it for neighbors neglect or people on the streets neglect. They only cover it for cities.
Because the city owns it, so they're responsible for it, but if somebody else does something to it. How are,
Right.
the way the insurance company looks at it anyway is how is the city supposed to control that?
So if we had a line that had a history of backing up or plugging. And, the city clean it back up, city clean it back up.
Tree roads.
That would show.
That's a different story.
That would show a lack of.
So,
maintenance.
yes, and then we didn't get the roots out, we didn't make the repairs, but we knew every month this line backed up.
For example, the work we did on the sewers. Just last year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those had a history of problems that we ended up.
Yeah, and some examples are, we do know of areas in town that are flat. You have to have. Fall for the stuff to flow, right? Minimum 2 feet per second is what has to be, be able to move solids. We do have areas in town that are completely flat and we check those weekly. Because we know it's an issue, so we are doing the preventive maintenance necessary. We check them, if we see stuff, we flush it. But places that have the proper fall, or we don't have any notification or any, issues for, many years. Those become a periodic. When we do manhole inspections and stuff like that.
So I would suspect with this event, we'll probably monitor this area a little closer, just to make sure.
We'll be double checking it, yes.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you're the canary in the coal mine on this one, you're the first one to get the damage.
Well, unfortunately, and once again, it's extremely unfortunate, but obviously nobody knows about it until we know about it.
Yeah.
Nobody can go walking through these pipes every day or have cameras in the pipes. I'd love to put cameras in every single thing that would happen. Make it much easier, but we can't do that. So unfortunately, when we have situations like this, then we become proactive.
We did try to reach someone on Saturday night though, and our plumber wasn't able to reach someone, so it would have been good to be able to have some kind of response a little sooner.
EOC
I would like to know who he tried to call on that, so
I
I
can
can stop to that. Yes, I would definitely like to know that.
Cause we go through the emergency operations center, which
Yes.
we have a guy on call 24/7.
Okay.
Yes, and if,
Last.
yeah,
And I will just say, I know it works, cause a few months ago, total different issue. City of Ogallala responded at 2 o'clock in the morning,
Wow,
2 o'clock in the morning.
it's 24 hours a day.
that's good.
If we get a call from EOC, we're responding.
Mhm.
So that's why I wanna know, and if you can communicate with them, or I mean, cards with or anything, but anyway, that I can make corrections to, I'm more than willing to do.
Awesome.
But EOC here is very dependable. So I would be surprised to find out who involved.
Well, John was not familiar with the plumber.
In Breezer.
It's,
He licensed.
He's not a
Yeah.
licensed plumber. He hasn't been for years.
oh,
He's retired and we needed an emergency.
Yeah.
Yeah, we couldn't get hold of anybody else, so that's what Uncle Bill gave me.
I just want to say I'm terribly sorry for the situation
Thank you.
with the review by alarm. I'm just not sure what options we really have. And I hate to say that, I appreciate what you said, that there's a lot of people that can't bounce back from that. And I'm speechless at the response from the insurance.
Mhm. And I would ask just that clearly the preventive maintenance level isn't enough, you know, if it's not preventing. You know, a few more of these, and I certainly am hearing tonight that that there's a lot of challenges with it. If there's anything that can be done, I would throw my vote that way.
Appreciate it. Unfortunately, I'm right there with Councilman Dupierre. I mean, I'm so sorry this happened to you. And it, whatever we've said here tonight, we're not trying to make light of it because none of us would like to have this happen. And years ago, when I was city manager, I've dealt with quite a few of these also. And unfortunately, it's the same thing. You know, our insurance company just says, you know, you didn't cause it unless it was truly a maintenance issue that we were aware of and we didn't respond to. So, any other comments, questions from the council?
No, I think it's a, I know I definitely will be checking my insurance department because I have, you have insurance that protects the line, but if they don't cover anything beyond your line. But if somebody, neighbor, or something like that's flushing, it's like, I like to know that because I actually keep my line pretty clear. I do the same thing, dump a lot of water, make sure that, but if my neighbor's not doing their job, then it costs my house to backfill. To check on some additional possible coverages, so that might be something that I'll look at least on my end, I'll start doing. So, but I hate that happened to you guys too.
Thank you.
I'm so sorry. I don't think there's anything that,
Thank you for coming.
thank you.
Absolutely.
Hate to see those on the agenda. Is there anyone else in the audience that has anything they would like to discuss that's not on the agenda under our public forum? If not, we don't have anything under the court treasurer report. And recommendations of departments, boards, and committees. The ambulance sharing agreement with Area Emergency Medical Service Provider, resolution 2320.
Mr. President, I had a conversation with Councilman Dupierre on this the other day, and I think that the simplest explanation was this is kind of a retainer. For them to have advanced life support. Just to clarify, if we respond and load them on our bus, we bill them. So this is not an end all. This is just an agreement that allows us to respond. A lot of times we get turned back, but if we don't get turned back, then if they end up on our bus, they have to pay the ticket.
Yeah, this is not a prepayment.
Right.
This is. The cash
This is
goes,
not a prepayment?
this is not a
It
prepayment.
says prepay right there.
They pay, but it's not a prepayment for each carrier,
Got it.
carrier,
Okay. Good
each body they
Thank
put
you.
in the van, yeah.
Okay,
So they prepaid at the beginning of the contract,
okay, good enough.
yeah. So this is, as Kevin said, they're buying the ability to use our service. And they still have to pay for the ambulance.
So an admin fee, we're guaranteed those funds.
It's supporting the cost of response. It's supporting our infrastructure to respond.
So we get this guaranteed, and then if we pick up a patient, we get to bill the patient as well.
Yes,
Now, is this the first time this kind of a agreement has been made with them?
no,
This is a renewal.
Okay, so is this amount greater than it has been in the past?
I believe it was 35,000 last time, and this is 36 change.
the Jordan Meininger and Dave Kling, VOC, have been working with these entities around the area that are within our reach that we have in the past provided services to at no reimbursement or remuneration.
And I think also, Mr. President, if we don't have this agreement and we pick them up, we can't bill because it's not right there.
Yep. But, you know, thing is, it's better than nothing. It's a bargain for them And I know we're working with, Big Springs, I believe, Rural, Paxton, Arthur, are we in Grant yet?
Perkins County.
Yeah,
Not Grant, yeah, well, Grant County wants us, I don't know that we're up there yet, but I know, Grant we're working with. As Paul Harvey would say, the rest of the story is we're, working with a group on this EMS, barn, and now we're looking at the sustainability. We're considering consolidating the 5 fire districts in the area. So we have like, there's Ogallala, Rural, Paxton, Keystone Lemoyne is part of Ogallala, Blue Creek. I know I'm gonna forget some of it, but anyway, by combining all 5 of those districts, the intent would be to create the Keith County Emergency Services District. The combination of those 5 districts, levy would aggregate to support, public safety, fire and EMS within that area. So that's where we may be renegotiating these, sometimes before the end of the budget, because what looks like would be happening is our Ogallala Fire District would change the name to Keith County Fire District, and then the other districts could vote just by their boards voting to join this district, and that's where we would grow this to establish a sustainable source of revenue for the group. Counselor, you were at that meeting, is that?
That's a very good summary.
Okay.
That's the intention.
Yeah, and
It's in the early stages.
very early stages. There are a lot of people to deal with on this, but you know what? The state has us under a microscope right now because we're definitely leading in getting this created. A lot of communities just walked away and said, you know, hey, we can't afford ambulance service, can't provide it. And that was not an option for Ogallala and Keith County.
Steve, correct me if I'm wrong, but one thing with this fee too is we have to have the equipment, the manpower and all that kind of stuff. And that helps pay for that, because we couldn't do it if we didn't have the income, you know, to pay our employees. The equipment on an ambulance is outrageous.
Crazy. A gurney is like what, $65,000. Are they now?
they're
Yeah.
over 100.
Oh.
It's just ridiculous, but
In the manufacturing business.
Yeah, it's no longer just a piece of plywood with some holes cut in for handle.
now and they got hydraulic lifts instead of
Yep.
the old manual lift, because it saves on people's backs and stuff like that.
Well,
I mean,
we're doing really well in getting to, again, as I said, something sustainable. Once we get that part figured out, then we can start to work on this ambulance barn that we want to build.
So since I've been away for a while, are we breaking even?
No,
I'll show you the numbers, Darren.
I'll be glad to look at them.
Well,
between,
you can look at my numbers if you want to. He's got manager math.
we have, and this is cowboy math, there's about a $700,000 shortfall that the city and the county split. We've been backstopping 350,000, the county's been backstopping 350,000. And
And we're doing better than some areas.
yeah.
We
And,
should
you know,
probably move on to the agenda items to tiering.
yeah, thanks, Mike. The tiering agreement.
I would introduce resolution 2320 and move for its adoption.
A resolution authorizing tiering agreements with area emergency medical service providers. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a resolution introduced by Councilman Dupierre and second by Councilman Block. There's no further discussion. Could the council please vote?
Five, yes.
Resolution 2319 is adopted. Thanks, Mike. I get a little passionate about this. All right, moving on, planning and zoning, back to a request for an in-home daycare facility. The property located at 1420 East Sixth Street, parcel ID 0160164000, more particularly described as Lot 8, Block 11. Cures, 4th edition to Keith County, Nebraska, located in Section 5, Township 13 North, range to the west of the 6 p.m. We will close the public hearing at 8:01.
I'll move to approve a request for an in-home daycare facility for a property located at 1420 East Sixth Street, parcel ID 0160164000. More particularly described as Lot 8, Block 11 of Cures 4th edition to Keith County, Nebraska, located in Section 5, Township 13 North, range 38 west of the 6 p.m.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilman Laughlin and a second by Councilman Dupierre to approve the in-home daycare. If there's no further discussion, could the council please vote?
Five, yes.
Motion carried. Carry on.
Thank you.
Good luck. All right, under planning and zoning, we have nuisance abatement. We are going to rescind. We are considering rescinding nuisance 2025 OGA 015 PID 005011500 at 810 West 3rd Street. Any news on this or update or what was done to why we're rescinding?
They must have cleaned it up to the satisfaction of West Central, and I don't know that we have very many of them hanging out from this year's.
This is actually the final.
This is the final. I thought, well, we might have one or two more, but this is the final.
That's what Ed said. This was the final, and he'd like to come give an update of the whole program in December.
Okay. We're confident this is. Yep.
Clear.
Okay. Yep. Okay.
And just as an opportunity to note, we have publicly notified, we made it public what we're doing next year.
Well,
I would introduce resolution 2321 and move for adoption.
resolution of rescinding declared nuisance. Is there a second?
Second.
We had an ordinance 2321 introduced by, or excuse me, we had resolution 2321 introduced by Councilman Dupierre and seconded by Councilman Laughlin. There's no further discussion. Could council please vote?
Five, yes.
Resolution 2321 is hereby adopted. Now we're to the report of city attorney.
I do not.
Okay, report of city manager.
Barricades are coming up on 2nd Street tomorrow. On this date in 1884, Ogallala was incorporated.
Woo.
I believe there was some discussion about moving the December 23rd meeting to the 30th, which we can talk about. I've already made mention of the 7.5 million on the service report, so that is it.
All right, I guess if you send out a email on the 30th, if we want to move the meeting to the 30th.
I believe we'll have to have that as an agenda item at the next meeting. So
Yeah.
it's-
Well, I mean, I would still reach out to council and see if that would conflict with anybody, and I mean,
Yeah, also cool.
Sure.
The 30th.
30th. Okay, anyway, we'll get around to the next agenda. Any other updates?
That's it.
Okay. My update on the Board of Health, we have not met, and the Ogallala Community Hospital and Health Foundation has not had a meeting. That's my last list. Councilman Laughlin.
Library. Some of this stuff is from back in October, as we reviewed previous month. The Halloween party for the Littles went great this year. They had 170 children at that Halloween party this year at the library.
Wow.
So that's fantastic. It's nice to see community involvement there. As we enter the winter months, the adult classes have started. So mid-November, they've started up some of those. They've gone to the website. They are listed for the different things that they're doing. They will give people heads up about 2 weeks before any adult classes so that people can sign up. They used to post everything, but then they had the same people signing up for everything in one fell swoop. Because of the limited spaces now that they're doing every 2 weeks, so that people have to call in continuously to get a spot, it kind of creates additional people that can get into those classes. Conference room usage. Let's see. Current cost conference room usage. They've had a total this year of 927 citizens and people from within the area use that conference room, so it's getting a lot of use there for it. People would like to schedule a time to go in there, call down to the local library, go through Kendra. She does look at all of the requests there, make sure it fits the scope of the library. Holiday scheduling, board just approved the holiday schedule, so that is out there now. So for just the holidays, since we're coming up here in November, they are going to close the 27th, 28th, and 29th for Thanksgiving break. And then for December, it would be the 24th and 25th for the Christmas break. December 31st, they'll be closing at 3, and then on January 1st, they're closed all day. Also, we've had 2 new applicants, which will probably come before the next board meeting to look at. I think they'll make a final decision on an applicant to fill Rod Rosanik's spot on the board. He's decided after all the years of service that he's going to take a step back. He, as everybody knows, has served on just about everything there is in this community, but believes it's time to let somebody else kind of fill in that but take a step back. It's going to be sad losing Rod from the library. I mean, he's been there for, trying to think of how many years. I mean, it's been a long time. It was before Kendra came on. He's been part of that library board forever. So it'll be sad to lose him, but we're looking forward to some new members within that. So look for that to come here probably next committee meeting. I think that's all I had there. Also, YMCA has not met, so no update there.
Okay. Councilman Block.
On the chamber, the board of directors have 3 open seats for a term of 26 through 28. And the membership votes on that, and the vote ended today at 5. I'll give you some things coming down the pipe. December 4th at 5:30, Keene County Parade of Lights. Business after hours and Keene County News Cash Drawing is Wednesday, December 10th from 5 to 7 at Petrified Wood Gallery. The Community Christmas Campana is at Ogallala Methodist Church on December 13th at 7 p.m. And there's also a Community Children's Christmas program, Living the Word by Joe Davis, Sunday, December 14th at 3 p.m. And they had a craft fair just recently that was pretty successful, and chamber banquet, which I was unable to attend, and I know Austin was there, so I asked him if he would give a report on that.
I'd love to.
The KCAD, I was sick that day, so I didn't make that.
Okay.
And then that Christmas cantata too, it's a multi-denominational Christmas service. There's people from all of the community. I think we have the largest Christmas choir that we've ever had. So it'll be pretty neat if anybody's not been to it. Highly recommend it. It's really a neat thing to watch. So
The chamber banquet, what can I say other than it was great? It was wonderful. All of the staff, all of the board members and the volunteers that put it together, put on a fantastic banquet. It was truly a joy to join and be a part of that. At the table I sat at, I actually got to meet a business owner out of North Platte, and they're doing in-home care. And so they're trying to pick up clients here in Ogallala, and once they get established, they're going to open up a full-time office here. And so it was just nice to hear and see people coming in from other communities and growing and expanding. For the winners of each award, there was 3 main awards. I really can't say enough about how each and every person or business that received that award, how fitting it was. It was well deserved. For Service Organization of the Year, that was awarded to Audi Obsession. If you guys don't know, Audi is a nonprofit organization. They're all about the outdoors, focusing on veterans and children, getting them, as they would say, Audi, getting them outside and hunting. In the last year, they have done they've taken 150 kids on hunts, and it's all free. And then 50 veterans. I've personally seen them make special accommodations to get disabled veterans out in the field and go hunting. It's a great organization and worthy of the Service Organization Award. For Business of the Year, that was awarded to Always Caffeinated, ran by Travis and Kim Byers. I don't think any introduction is needed for those guys. They're very involved in the community, always lending a helping hand. A great award given to the perfect Business of the Year. For Business Professional of the Year, that went to Mary Wilson of KCAD. I don't want to discredit any of the nominees. There was great nominees. But you know, when you think of pillars in the community that are making moves and driving growth, Mary's in the center of that spotlight. I can personally speak to that. A few weeks ago, I was out of state talking to a economic development manager, and he actually knew Mary's name, by first name, knew exactly who she was. And so again, her reach is far beyond Ogallala, and it's a perfect fitting award for her.
And you're up for West Central Development District and West Central Joint Housing Authority.
Okay, I'm gonna do this a little bit out of order. I'm gonna start with West Central Nebraska Joint Housing Authority. The board is still looking for someone to replace Kelsey Snow, the director, as she did resign. And her last day was supposed to be end of November. The search has been long and difficult. Kelsey has so graciously agreed to stick around through the end of December. So the board is very thankful for that. Corey, the office assistant, has also given her formal resignation with a final date of December 31st. So we have a lot of changes happening. As far as the federal government opening up and funding HUD, they have agreed to a continuation through January 20th, 2026, which allows for funding of the HUD Section 8 program. It'll be funded through December 25. And so, to move on from that, the communication between the board and HUD is still extremely limited. Kelsey does not have the contacts that she's used to having. In fact, she can only get a hold of one person at the HUD department. Every other phone call is just disconnected and all emails are still bouncing.
Is there gonna be anybody in that office to handle the current, any?
As of this moment, no, we're hopeful that we can find a candidate before the end of December.
Is there any entity that can, manage the existing certificates.
I think worst case scenario, we would have to look at handing the program off to another organization, say out of North Platte, Lexington, Scottsbluff, something of that nature,
Okay.
so. A whole lot of uncertainty and a lot of questions I can't really answer. For West Central Nebraska Development District, I did attend the fall gathering a few weeks back. The setting was informal. It allowed for great conversation. I spoke with Ed about the Brownfield Assessment Grant. He assured me that the application is ready to go and it does include the Superfund site. We should expect a submission sometime January 2026, and we're looking really good for that.
Good.
Also at the meeting, I learned a little bit, very small amount about a RISE grant program. And it's something that West Central Nebraska Development District can help us with in partnership with Nebraska Department of Transportation. And they were actually awarded a grant in North Platte. And what they did was they received the grant to do a road study of adding an additional off-ramp off of the interstate and bring it all the way to the north side of North Platte and basically creating another bypass road, just adding more connection points in North Platte. And my understanding of it is it's mostly an untapped grant. Not a lot of people apply for it. At least Dunn seemed like we could do this. And so, not that I made a recommendation, but hey, we should talk about this for Ogallala. It's one more thing that we can put in our pocket for another overchange and connecting it to the bypass road. So I think that's good information for you guys to know. I think we should take a deep dive into it first part of 2026 and see if we can start working on. I believe it was the RISE grant.
Is it RISE or
RISE.
you know what that acronym stands for?
I looked it up today and I did.
Okay,
Yeah,
no problem. I'll call it.
Finally, we did speak a little bit about land banks. At this point, I'm completely out of my realm. It sounds like it's a possibility, but it needs a lot of support. And I'd like to make a motion that Chris Laughlin go ahead and, give it the support it needs. Seems interested, but a lot of questions I need to answer.
Good.
So, and continually said throughout the meeting, they are there to assist us with what we need. That's it.
Good report. And nothing else. Welcome to Daryl. Back in the saddle again.
Welcome back, Cotter.
With that, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Let's do adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilman Blockton, second by Councilman Laughlin to adjourn. There's no discussion. Please vote.
Five yes.
Motion carried. We're adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll look at that RISE grant again, so.